Welcome into the PFF 50, brought to you by thru. We know you love football, and at PFF, we deliver insights you won't get anywhere else. And if you love beer, you need to check out thru. They deliver the world's best and hardest to find craft beers right to your doorstep. You choose how much, how often, and what style. Just go to thru.com and get $10 in beer money after spending $25 when you enter the promo code PFF50. All right, Sam, we're into the top 10 in the PFF 50. Be sure to check out all the other videos as we counted down from 50. We're into the top 10 now. What is the PFF 50 for all of our viewers out there?
Simply put, the top 50 players in the NFL right now. We're not paying attention just to last year's grades. We're looking ahead. We're folding in a whole bunch of years. All the information we have in the PFF database, thanks to watching and grading every single snap of every single player in the NFL season. So these are the top 50 players in the league right now.
And it's regardless of position, so it's not just all quarterbacks, it's not just the most valuable positions, all positions essentially created equally. So let's get into the top 10. It's the best players in the NFL, starting with Julio Jones, wide receiver from the Atlanta Falcons. We've had a little bit of debate of who is actually the top wide receiver. Julio's actually coming in at number 2 here, and he has been as good as it gets, right up there with the guy that's right ahead of him, but leading the league in yards per route run, one of our best efficiency metrics over the last 4 years. 4 straight years of 90-plus grades. If there's a knock on him, 8 drops last year, a couple fumbles, so the ball security wasn't as good as you would like to see, and that's us getting really nitpicky here because Julio can truly do it all. He wins down the field, wins after the catch, and unbelievably consistent year over year with those 90-plus grades. Let's go, Sam.
Yeah, so let's not separate these wide receivers. Number 9, we've got DeAndre Hopkins, and really it is close between him and Julio Jones. There's virtually nothing separating him. If anything, DeAndre Hopkins has the best hands in the game right now. Barely drops a ball ever. And it's not like he's catching these with wide open areas of separation, no pressure to deal with. He's constantly got defensive backs draped all over him, and he's making tough contested catches. Over the past couple of seasons, he's got as many contested catches as anybody in the NFL and doesn't have the drops or ball security that Julio Jones has. So just edging ahead of Julio.
Yeah, I think the thing that separated Hopkins a little bit was, Deshaun Watson's been hurt a little bit the last couple of years. He's caught passes from Tom Savage, from Brock Osweiler, and remained one of the most productive receivers in the NFL. So really close between 9 and 10 there. Let's get to number 8. It's Khalil Mack. Now, he used to be side by side with Von Miller every time we did this list. There's a little bit of separation between them now because, Mack, he's got 4 straight years of 90-plus grades, and he played a little banged up last year and still remained productive for the Chicago Bears. 6 forced fumbles, had a pick 6, all the game-changing plays that he added to the Bears defense. Still had 73 pressures, always one of the best run defenders on the edge. So he could truly do it all, and just the model of consistency since coming into the league. 1 year below 90 to kick things off, was just a really good run defender, but since that point, 90-plus every single season for Khalil Mack.
Number 7, we've got another one of the perennially acknowledged best players in the NFL. Captain America himself here, Luke Kuechly. And we've actually got a pretty cool t-shirt you can get on the PFF store, Steve. Luke Kuechly done up as Captain America.
Love
it. You're a Panthers fan, you want to get that Luke Kuechly t-shirt. Simply put, Kuechly is, arguably the best linebacker in the NFL, certainly one of the top 2, and he has the highest coverage grade we've ever seen from a linebacker. So that's where he really makes his best plays. He's able to make plays in coverage that other linebackers simply don't get anywhere near. He's one of the few players that has made that spectacular play against the deep crosser in cover 3, Steve. The kryptonite for linebackers. Luke Kuechly's one of the few guys that has the tape to show him making that. He makes plays into other people's zones that you just don't see. It really does change the game from an offensive perspective, how you attack the Panthers' zone schemes because Kuechly is back there. So an absolutely phenomenal linebacker. Another grade over 90 last season. Luke Kuechly at number 7.
And battled injuries over the last couple years, but still remaining productive. All right, let's get to number 6, and it is Patrick Mahomes, one of the best second years we've ever seen from a quarterback, but it was really his first year starting. The 50 touchdowns everybody knows about. Everybody knows about the highlight plays, the plays outside the pocket, and they were spectacular. He made a ton of big-time throws, but what I liked, second lowest percentage of negatively graded throws. I mean, we're grading these guys every single throw. And when you don't miss throws, that bodes well for the future. That's why Mahomes, not just the fact that he makes all those special plays, he just doesn't miss a whole lot of plays that are, expected, so to speak. So it was a perfect marriage of him being a special player, joining into a system with Andy Reid where they called great plays, they had great playmakers, and that's what led to that explosive offense. Mahomes, of course, could move up this list as he goes. We want to see a little bit more, more of a prove it. Is it more than just 1 year? But Mahomes looked special in his first year as a starter. The most valuable quarterback in the NFL by our wins above replacement metric.
He really did. Mahomes was absolutely phenomenal. And albeit incredible last season, there's a little bit of guesswork attached to projecting what he's going to be this year because 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards, you have to expect that's going to regress a little bit. And that's why we've got Drew Brees ahead of him, because we just have such a longer proven track record of Drew Brees being phenomenal season in, season out. We have a little bit more confidence than in 2019 Drew Brees is going to edge Patrick Mahomes just because of expecting that to come back down to earth. So Drew Brees, the thing that really sums him up is accuracy. Whatever about who the best quarterback in the NFL is, I think it's pretty inarguable that Drew Brees is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, almost regardless of how you look at it. But if you go over 3 years, Drew Brees has the best adjusted completion percentage in the NFL. That's taking out drops, it's taking out spikes, throwaways, the kind of thing that warps completion percentage from being an accuracy statistic overall. And he's the only player in the NFL that's above 80%, 80.8% over the last 3 years. Drew Brees, the most accurate player in the NFL and one of the best quarterbacks in all of football.
Absolutely. Let's move on to number 4, Fletcher Cox. The thing we keep saying about Fletcher Cox, if the guy that's at number 1 on the list didn't exist, we'd be talking about Fletcher Cox as the premier interior defensive lineman in the entire NFL. 92.5 grade last year. That's multiple years of 90-plus grades. He had 95 pressures last year. That was number 2 in the NFL behind the guy that's number 1. I don't want to give it all away, Sam. But number 2 in the NFL for an interior defensive lineman to be creeping toward 100 pressures is absolutely incredible. Also a stout run defender, but it's really his ability to get after the quarterback. And Cox has continued to develop. And, last year was his peak year. There's still more to come. So him sitting there at number 4, I think it shows what we're able to do as far as grading every player on every snap and unlocking the fact that Fletcher Cox is one of the best players in the entire NFL.
What I love about this list is when you start to get to the sharp end, all these guys have got like a signature statistic or something that really sets them apart from everybody else. So the best linebacker in the NFL right now is Bobby Wagner. And the thing that really encapsulates what he's good at is tackling. Does not miss tackles almost ever. So if you look at the past 3 years, Bobby Wagner has the most tackles in the NFL by PFF's count, our more accurate after the fact tackle count that goes back and actually attributes who made the tackle, not just who jumped on the pile at the end of it. So Bobby Wagner has 409 combined solo and assisted tackles over the past 3 seasons, 13 misses. Right?
That's amazing.
That's pretty impressive. The guy in second on that list has, I think, 30 odd fewer tackles, Telvin Smith, but he's missed 69 tackles in that period. So 13 versus 69 misses. Bobby Wagner is the best tackling linebacker in the game. He's great in coverage, he's great against the run, and he's been doing it more and more on his own as the Seattle defense has been kind of dismantled around him. Still continues to be amazing. 91.8 grade last year. Incredible player.
Still great in coverage, really does everything. So now we're at the final 2, and coming in at number 2, it's Tom Brady of the New England Patriots. Remember, we're not going value here. He has been the most valuable quarterback in the NFL, most valuable player over the last 5 years in our wins above replacement metric, the top graded quarterback over the last 5 years. Each way you stack the years, he's been up at the top. So even with a bit of a down year last year at 90.6, we're still talking about 4 straight years at 90 plus. Of course, he's doing it in the playoffs as well. When it counts, big time throws down the stretch, takes care of the football. And it's really incredible to think, heading into year 20 in the NFL, Brady's played his best football over the last 4 or 5 year stretch.
Right.
He's essentially had 2 or 3 different Hall of Fame type of careers rolled into one. So Brady at number 2 on the PFF 50.
But the number 1 player in the NFL, pretty much inarguably, is Aaron Donald. He has been absolutely incredible. PFF grade of 95 last year. No matter what kind of time frame you look at, Aaron Donald has the most pressure in the NFL since he came into the league over the past couple of seasons. Over the past 2 years, he has 50 more pressures than anybody else.
That's not supposed to happen.
50
it's really
pressures is a good season for anybody. And he has that much more than the next best guy over 2 years. Like, his pressure rate, his ability to win and get one-on-one is absolutely unrivaled. He's right up there in terms of, peak J.J. Watt from a few years ago. When you look at our numbers, you can't find numbers where he's not just an outlier all by himself off the end of the scale. No matter what statistic you look at, Aaron Donald is simply inhuman compared to any other player in the league. He's the best player in football right now.
We have stats that break down how often he's double teamed too, and when he's double teamed, he's still like a top 3 or 4 pass rusher against guys on all other rushes. I mean, literally every way you stack the numbers.
Right.
Donald at the top, against the run, rushing the passer, doesn't matter. So Aaron Donald, the clear number 1 in the PFF 50. It's the best players in the NFL heading into 2019. Let us know in the comments below what you think of our perfect list, because we've graded every player on every play, but maybe we missed a few. So let us know what you think. It's the PFF 50, all brought to you by thru.